So, hi everyone and welcome back to another Acty video. The truck has been having an excessive crank issue for a little while, and I just tried to demonstrate that. So, took quite a few turns before it would fire on. I have ruled out fuel as a potential problem. I did spray starter fluid in the intake, and still the same problem. I have replaced the fuel pump and fuel filter. So I do believe it is spark or electrical related. Some of you have said you think it's the starter, and I think you could be right. I'm just really hoping it's not the starter because I really don't want to pull that out and replace it if I don't have to. So the point of today's video is that we're going to be replacing the battery and the battery terminals. If you saw a couple videos back, I put in a lawn and garden battery, a U1, in the truck, and without realizing it doesn't actually have enough cold cranking amps that the truck requires. So the truck actually needs a minimum of 340, and this battery has only 300. So yeah, that's simply just not enough. As an alternative, I purchased the Noco lithium battery that offers 500 cold cranking amps, so that should be more than enough. Yeah, we're making the switch to lithium today. We're gonna see how it goes, and yeah, let's get started. Let's unbox this battery, see what's inside. Cool. And yeah, this is the NLP 14. I think there's even a fifth spacer, which I think makes this close in height to what the stock battery is. Let's check that out. Yeah, actually almost identical. Cool. So yeah, height should not be a concern. The stock bracket, however, may be a little bit of concern. Because this is so light, I have seen people fasten this with just a zip tie. So we may just get a heavy duty zip tie and do it that way. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, looks good. Now we have to figure out how to change the terminals out. This piece has actually fallen off in the past, so it's time to go. So I quickly wanted to peel back the curtain here and see what's going on underneath. I used my Stubby Screwdriver to get that out. I love this screwdriver. Link in the description if you want to pick up one. It's come in handy in a few different scenarios. So anyway, yeah, so it looks pretty gross in here. So I should definitely clean it up. It's looking a little bit better. Still pretty gross in there, but took the main fuse out, cleaned underneath there pretty well. Can't seem to get these screws out. I don't want to strip them, so I'm not sure. I really would like to clean underneath. I'm not sure what to do though. I don't want to strip these out. Okay, with a lot of perseverance and I forget what size Phillips head this is, but I'll put it on the screen right there. I cracked this one. So this one's gonna come off so we can clean under there, thank goodness, because it's pretty gnarly in there. So, yay! Cool, cool. Luckily, yeah, the actual ring doesn't look too bad, but underneath there's a bit of rust and corrosion, so we'll clean that up real good. Okay, so not perfect, but a lot better than when we started. Just gonna add a small amount of dielectric grease to these connectors. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna slide this off because it was already pretty loose. Yeah. Whoop. And then I'll take the wire and feed it through here so I can have more clearance to work. So we'll peel this back a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Okay, cool. We got some of the flex tubing pulled back now so we can see what we're doing. So we're gonna cut probably right around here with our big wire cutters, and then peel back the insulation and expose the wire, and then we'll need to stick it inside of our battery lugs. So, a very sharp knife will aid in this process, peeling back the insulation of the wire. Before we go ahead and do that, we'll need to size up how much we need to cut to stick inside of the lug. The good news is if I screw this up, I've got a few spares, so we'll just get the length of the wire, take our knife, and thinly cut into the insulation. Okay, so we got the insulation off. Just inspecting the wires, looks good. I don't think we lost any in the surgery there. So what I will do now, before I go ahead and crimp it down onto the lug, I will slide a heat shrink over here. And these are the positive cables, so we'll go with a red heat shrink. Why not? What's interesting is we're combining two wires, so it is a little odd. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go with the smaller of the two. So, what was that? The SC25-8. If it doesn't work, I can always switch to the larger lug. But yeah. So now we need our crimping tool. So yeah, push these in and then we can change the size. I got the positive done. That took a lot longer than it should have, and I don't think I used the right crimp size, because you can see there's a ton of copper like squished to the side. Anyway, I mean, it's on there pretty good. I pulled on this lug, it's not going anywhere, so yeah, I mean, it should be fine. Put some dielectric grease on there, I'm gonna do the heat shrink and then call that a day. And I still gotta do the negative. So yeah, let's cut this off. Get this negative side done. Right there. Yeah, okay, made my incision. I'm tired, my back is sore. Okay, so this connector was a little too small for my crimping tool, so I just used a regular wire crimper and just flattened it like a pancake. I pulled on it and it's snug, so yep. Again, put some dielectric grease, heat shrink, and then we'll shrink this down. Okay, so I did replace the fuse because it was burnt, so I put in a Bussmann 50. I'm only going to use this temporarily. I've already placed an order for the 45 amp fuse, but for now this will work in the meantime. So I just went to Walmart and I picked up some heavy duty zip ties. So I think what I've decided to do is use 2 zip ties, one running this way, one running this way, and then use the existing holes that are in the battery box, which means I will have to make some holes in my little metal lining. So I'll make some holes to match up with those holes so that I can still use this little tray, and I think that'll work. Alright, so it looks kind of crazy right now, but basically I ran this one through the hole, out this other hole, so that this will secure it from the top. And then this one, I ran it through this hole on the underside, back up, and then this will be securing the sides. So yeah. Looks crazy, but I think it'll work. Okay, so it passed the first test of power. Just a random side note as well, I finally had a spare cut for the truck. I couldn't find one for the longest time. I went into a bunch of hardware stores, they couldn't find me a match. I finally saw a post on the Facebook group that said this Hillman 27R was a match, so I went and picked this up at City Mills. This was $5 for the blank and the cut. Under $5. So yeah, one of the biggest scams right now is just stuff that's branded Acty. Like if it's exclusive, like Honda, OEM, Acty, or something like that, it's gonna be like so expensive. The market is just disgusting. But so if you know a part is interchangeable with the Civic, I would use like Civic as the keyword versus putting Acty in there, because you'll find parts for the Acty that are going to be like marked up 5 times. So anyway, now let's see about turning the truck on. Moment of truth to see if all that hard work paid off. Oh, I'm nervous. Let's start it over. No. Alright guys, well, hopefully we're gonna get to the bottom of this soon. I appreciate the support. There's my radio. Oh, I have the hiccups. It's gonna come on any day now. Okay, so it's been a few days since the Noco battery install. I have been testing. I didn't want to speak too... Sorry, I have the hiccups. I didn't want to speak too soon, but the last few days I have been driving the truck a little bit, and each time I've noticed that first turn, it's coming on. So since the lithium install and the new 50 amp fuse that is not burnt has gone in the truck and top off coolant, I haven't had any issues starting. So I am curious about that. The one way I can test to see if this actually made a difference is if I stall. When I would finally get the truck to turn over, it would run strong, and if I turned it off and turned it back on again, I could start it more easily. But the caveat there is if I stalled the truck at all, it would struggle to turn back on. So I'm curious about that. So as you can see, we'll start the truck again after it's been running. It starts up. Now let's test the stall theory. Okay, so the truck just stalled. Let's see about turning it back on. Wow! Fired back on! In the past, definitely, if I stalled the truck, it would struggle to turn back on, and that fired first turn, so it's not concrete evidence yet. I think further testing may be required, but that's a really good sign. So the battery is a huge improvement. The main fuse, changing that out is really good. I did place an order for the 45 amp. It's in, I just received it in the mail, so I'll throw that in there because that's actually up to code. And then, yeah, keep that 50 in the truck just as a spare if needed. But yeah, again, like I said, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think that may have solved it. It may have just been shitty battery and shitty battery terminals. I mean, it was definitely shitty battery terminals. Like, the positive terminal fell off, like I told you guys, so yeah, that might have solved it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one.